Good evening, everyone. Thunderlord70 currently speaking. As I announced recently in my community section, I owe you some things to explain. Some things which I want to get off my chest, as well as explanations for various topics surrounding my channel. Without further ado, let us proceed into the first topic. Anyone paying the slightest attention to my content can see that my last video, which held more relevance, was 2 months ago. That being the showcase of Remade Chapter 1 for Corruption Erosion. Other than that, my last video was a Halloween special, which did insanely poorly. Why aren't there any videos coming up? Why not even the smaller ones, like Erosion's soundtrack? I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. Over the past couple of weeks I've been feeling extremely tired and demotivated to post anything on my channel. I am 16 years old, in my 3rd year of technical school. I wake up at around 5 to 6 a.m., sit at school till around 15 to 30 p.m. and come back home only to help with all kinds of chores and responsibilities, as well as learn from my subjects. When I come back from school, I am just too exhausted to work on anything, to do any work. And even if I try to, it doesn't work. Even if I find some time to sit on my phone or computer, I rather spend that time listening to music, scrolling on TikTok, and just chatting with my friends on Discord. I am very sorry to anyone who awaits my content, but at the moment I'm not really able to post videos on a frequent basis. School isn't the only reason why I haven't been posting a lot recently. The other reason is, as I've mentioned, I tried to do some work, even if it was the bare minimum. Now, I have been showing some sneak peeks here and there of progress on Erosion, as well as works on mods I'm helping on, but recently, I feel like my work isn't good enough. Each song I try to compose, for example, no matter how I try, at second hearing it sounds okay at best and unlistenable at worst. Almost the same situation occurs when I'm working on sprites. This demotivation. It takes a long time to do anything. I am literally doing one sprite animation, aka a pose, for a day. I often struggle to actually be proud of what I do. I'll give credit where it's due. I do. When I get a sudden motivation rush, I am able to compose something I find acceptable. Great even. Not to mention making a fully playable sprite sheet in hours. However, let's not forget that these motivation rushes aren't very often. Now that we have this topic concluded, I shall get into more personal matter. This is something I don't want to talk about for too long, even though my closest friends know more details about my mental state. I'm not depressed or anything, but I better explain this. In short, I feel cold. Not as happy as I was before. I feel lonely isolated and worthless way more often than normally. I feel like I'm not enough, or that sometimes I'm just too much. I'm getting fed up with how things are at home. This cycle of school, then chores at home, and then school again is taking a bit of a toll on me, to be honest. Not only that, but there was an event in November which took a strong toll on my well-being. It's nothing really that serious, but I don't feel comfortable speaking about it publicly. All of this leads me to cope by getting this stand, isolating myself, listening to music way more often, just trying to mute off everything around me, getting colder towards people, sometimes being rude, frustrated about everything actually, even getting aggressive when angered too much. Just know that I am attending weekly meetings with my school psychologist. She's pretty helpful, all things considered. And I do receive support from my closest friends, which I am insanely grateful for. Thank you guys. Alright, now that we have this out of the way, the rest of this video is just going to be my rambling about my projects, my opinion on my mods, novels, drawings, music, everything like that. Well then, let's begin with the most obvious ones, shall we? Erosion, erosion, erosion. This mod has been around for a while now. Around 1.5 years to be exact. I've grown so much as a FNF mod creator thanks to working on this passion project of mine. I have a feeling that one day it might get the recognition it actually deserves. But as you can already see, after 1.5 years of development and 3 updates to the build, we're in a state of remaking the first 2 chapters. Chapter 1 being already remade, of course. We're adding changes to the UI, updating song events, trying to fix the weakest aspects of the mod and make it worth something, so it can stand on its own as a corruption mod. The progress is very slow, almost sluggish. Why is that? Outside of the reasons mentioned in the first half of this video, we need to take into account other things. Our dev team is pretty small, 5 people, where 3 from 5 people have the leading role, do the most. That being me, Blazing, and Mateo. Of course, Felix makes icons and Oleg charts, and that's the work organization we have. Since this is a passion project, we don't really have any harsh deadlines. We just do stuff when we have time and when we want to. We're also having minor contributions from other people, like Sam for example. He's making a new version of Bone Crack, Skid's Day 1 song. He was supposed to stay in the team, but due to personal reasons, he left the FNF community. Again. Thankfully though, he will finish the song so it can be playable. As you know, we're currently working on remastering Chapter 2A, where Daddy Dearest takes Spirit to search GF. It's been 2 months since Chapter 1 Redux. Let me tell you how much we have done so far. Escape Opportunity has been remade from ground up by myself. It sounds much better, to be honest. Blazing has updated freedom negotiations. Felix remade Daddy Dearest icons. Mateo made new sprites for Sebastian, aka our version of Human Spirit. And I've been remaking backgrounds for Chapter 2A. We're planning something big with the visuals. For further proof, here's a pic of Escape Opportunity's new version. For Chapter 2B, I'm not going to spoil much, as we have less things remade. And this is the point where I'll begin fixing up some elements of the lore. Now that we're done with erosion, let's hop onto another rabbit hole. The Stormiverse, as you might know, is something I hold deeply in my heart. For a while now, I've tried to work on the Stormiverse series, and Stormiverse is an evident mod. Let's say that my lack of consistency and time to work is really a problem here. The FNFX Stormiverse mod is in this weird limbo where I am the only one working on it, making concept arts and songs, but not much progress has been made to move the mod forward. Oddly enough, Stormiverse already had some presence in other mods, and by other mods, I mean Release of Darkness. Thanks to our duo collabing a lot, we've come up with Thunderlord, a Cubics vs Corrupted Boyfriend song, as well as a B-side remix. Also, a quick fun fact. The song title Thunderlord was an inspiration for creating the Thunderlord OC. Yeah, that was the only reference. Even though nobody really cares about Stormiverse and not many people know about it, I will still work on it. This is like Erosion, a passion project of mine, and working on these OCs and putting them into the FNF universe is a lot of fun to me. As for Stormiverse as a series, well, that is also quite a struggle. As some of you might know, I'm writing Stormiverse as a novel on Wattpad, but I don't really have a lot of time to write shit there. I try to set some deadlines for myself, but I end up not really doing anything. Act 1 is still stuck on being halfway written. I'm not sure when I'll be able to write anything or when anything will be released, so don't expect anything. I will do it, eventually. I thought that there would be more stuff to talk about, but guess I was wrong. Shouldn't make this video so dramatic and sad, huh? Let's just wrap things up. Now, I know that this video might end up sounding too dramatic and sad for what it's worth, and I'm sorry for that. When I began writing the script, I wasn't really in a good mood and had a different perspective for how I wanted it to be. There was supposed to be much more venting here, but as I thought about it, I realized it would be really unnecessary. And kinda childish, if you'll ask me. Also, a little update from future me finishing the script. We've made a bit more progress for Erosion. Escape Opportunity Redux gameplay-wise is almost finished, and Unknown has completed a remaster for Bonecrack. Things are finally looking brighter than I thought. I don't know if I'll do a Christmas special, or a New Year's special, or anything. I've been focusing more on private life than this channel recently, as well as some schoolwork. But from time to time, I will post something here, even if it gets no recognition, no likes, no views, no anything. After all, I'm doing this for myself. However, I'm thinking about posting one more song showcase. I hope you'll enjoy it when it gets released. Anyways, that would be all for today, guys. Thanks for listening to me talking, and I will see you guys next time. Peace!